I'm a closet vlogger. I'm called the Closet Vlogger because I vlog in my closet. Okay, I couldn't wait to get into my closet. I had to do it here. I just had to get this stuff off my chest. It's amazing to me how mainstream media has... Originally, it was supposed to be journalism and news, and then I don't know where they lost their way, maybe 20 years ago?
From ABC, this is World News Tonight.
Probably.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
They lost their way. They're now more in entertainment.
Yes, I was Bill Clinton's lover for 12 years.
And in an op-ed, an opinion editorial. There is no news. And I'm going to point a couple of things out. Undoubtedly, some of you may have already seen some of this, but it's the way things are said. Well, just listen.
Former President Trump has just started making public remarks, just as he did on the evening of his first arraignment on criminal charges. That was April.
Okay, so that's true. But they had to restate something that we already knew to make a point, to begin to form an opinion that fits their narrative. Continue listening.
We knew heading into this that he was planning to make these remarks. We are prepared for his pre-fundraiser remarks tonight to again be essentially a Trump campaign speech. Because of that, we do not intend to carry these remarks live.
Okay, so you don't want to carry a campaign speech live, but I think the part of that was we already know. They've predicted this is what's happening. Somehow they have a crystal ball, and without even watching it first, they come out with their opinion of what they think it's going to be. Why even mention any of that? Why don't you just not show it, watch it, and then report on what you saw and what you heard? Or why not just put the whole thing up? Other news media did. I mean, that happened to be that news company. And, well, here's another news company.
We do have now...
Okay, that's already starting kind of scary. They're starting on the wrong person.
As I told you, we're not, and the audience, we're not carrying his remarks live because, frankly, he says a lot of things that are not true and sometimes potentially dangerous.
Okay, so now this news agency, through this reporter or entertainment person, is the arbiter of truth. They know what true is. I don't. So they're telling me what is true and what is not true. Isn't that something that I need to decide? They don't think so.
We're going to start, of course, I just want to note, he begins this clip we're about to show you by making unfounded claims about the charges against him, untrue and unfounded claims about the charges against him.
All right, well, they don't know that. They're okay with giving their opinion about a topic, clearly, but when somebody else gives their opinion of what's happening to them and it doesn't match the news media's opinion, they don't want to show it because it doesn't match their narrative.
And we've never seen it on a scale like this. And you have to understand the other side is downright crooked.
And it's clear to me that they're trying to fashion an opinion in my mind based upon how they feel and what their narrative is going into anything. Let's continue.
As we have said before in these circumstances, there is a cost to us as a news organization to knowingly broadcast untrue things. We are here to bring you the news. It hurts our ability to do that if we live broadcast what we fully expect in advance to be a litany of lies and false accusations, no matter who says them.
Wow. Okay, crystal ball time again. We know what's going to be said, so we're not going to show it to you. Why? Are you afraid of what's being said? Let it be said. Let's hear it. And if you want to, give us your opinion. because it's going to be obvious. That's why they don't want to do it, that it's their opinion. So they just give you their opinion to begin with without even showing the stuff that they predict is going to be said. By the way, by anyone?
Today we've got some good news. Good news about the economy. For the 6th month in a row, inflation has come down.
Things may have curbed a little bit, but that's because everyone's afraid of purchasing anything. And this goes beyond the scope of this particular vlog, but the Fed has just said they're going to hold things still for a while, but probably next month they're going to raise rates again.
Decided to keep interest rates steady in the target range of 5 to 5.25%. It doesn't mean that they're done here. Fed officials have described this as a pause, as a skip of some sort. And actually, economic projections that came alongside this Fed meeting suggest that they could potentially hike another once or twice this year. We'll have to see whether or not they follow through on that.
Well, all that's going to do is create inflation this month. People are going to go out and buy things because they're going to be afraid that next month rates will go up. So they'll just buy today and inflation's going to go up.
A positive report Tuesday that showed inflation rates have been cut in half from last year's peak. Inflation rose 4% between last May and this May. That's the smallest increase in more than 2 years.
Did you just hear that? Inflation is still increasing.
Inflation rose 4% between last May and this May.
Anyway.
But tonight, our call is this. We will monitor that speech by the newly indicted former president. We will not carry his remarks live. If he says anything newsworthy, we promise we will turn that right around and bring it back to you.
So they get to decide what is newsworthy, not me. Interesting. They can't just give me the facts. These facts, these facts, these facts, which is what journalism is supposed to be. And then let me decide. Instead, they've got to look at it, decide what they want to be called news, feed that to me, or maybe not feed that to me if none of what is being said fits their narrative, and therefore form an opinion for me that I'm supposed to believe. I just had to bring all this up because it's becoming more and more blatant. It's getting worse and worse and worse, folks. When are we going to say enough is enough? And enough is enough. They're anticipating something happening, so they're not going to report it. Or they may anticipate something happening and they will report it. They'll put it on the news media, which is not news any longer. And they're just trying to entertain us. And if you follow the money, you'll realize that advertisers love to put stuff on what we just saw because it attracts attention. And it has nothing to do with news anymore. I hope that we see what is happening and how we are being used as the American public. Everything that the so-called news media is saying, I'm going to immediately think the opposite and go research myself. And I'm going to encourage you to do the same. Find out for yourself. Don't rely on the so-called news media any longer. If you have an opinion, put a comment down below. We'd love to hear from you. See ya!